Jess Hilarious is having a really rough week. Right now, the entire internet is giving her backlash, and she just got her job taken right from under her.
I keep telling y'all that this ain't just with the mess. Now, go ahead, Loren. What we got going on with Diddy?
Okay, so
talking to the microphone.
I'm here. I just moved up. Okay, so we've been talking, and remember I told you guys that I broke.
A lot of us thought Jess Hilarious was being shady when she said this ain't Jess with the Mess no more, because Jess with the Mess is her gossip segment on the Breakfast Club. And because she couldn't read well, the Breakfast Club sort of brought all the lines to Loren Larosa, and she was now introducing the gossip and introducing the topic, and Jess Hilarious was just a commentator like everybody else. So we thought when she was handing it back over to Loren Larosa, she was just being shady. Come to find out, she's not. It's not Jess with the Mess no more, all right? Loren Larosa has taken Jess Hilarious' only job and only contribution to the Breakfast Club.
Loren becoming a straight fact.
She gets them from somebody that knows somebody.
She gets the details.
It's the latest with Loren Larosa. Period.
The Breakfast Club has finally said, all right, bruh, enough of the buffoonery, bruh. Just, you can't have your own segment if the person doing the segment is Loren Larosa. Because what Jess Hilarious would essentially do, because the Breakfast Club took notice of the fans, making a fuss about Jess Hilarious mispronouncing words, not being able to read properly. So they took the segment from Jess Hilarious and said, yeah, Jess, sorry, buddy. This is going to be Loren Larosa thing now. So now Loren Larosa has taken over Jess Hilarious just with the Mess segment. And that's bad news for Jess, because that was the only thing Jess Hilarious had on the Breakfast Club. Without that, what's her role on the Breakfast Club? She has none. Now, I don't think this is a coincidence that they announced that Loren Larosa is going to have the segment and not Jess Hilarious the day that Jess Hilarious is getting all the backlash in the world for making fun of a 13-year-old with cancer for having patchy hair on the Breakfast Club.
Effective stunt.
It was so effective, right? But then you had people arguing, okay, this was race baiting. This little black boy shouldn't have been used as a prop. And I'm like, are y'all
He's black?
Whatever, he's a person of color,
No,
obviously.
okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't know his exact ethnicity. But when I saw that,
his hair was nappy.
His hair was not nappy at all. It wasn't.
He was black.
The dad,
You think he was black?
His dad was black.
Yeah,
His dad was older. I don't know if that was his dad, but yeah, it
Not
seemed
that
like that was
matters.
his
I
dad.
just don't think little boy was
Yeah, he
black.
was
His hair
black.
wasn't
He's
nappy.
black.
I mean, it was patchy, but it wasn't nappy.
well,
Both Charlamagne and Jess Hilarious deserve backlash for this, but only Jess Hilarious is getting backlash, and I'm not sure exactly why. But the Breakfast Club has taken down that particular clip because the person they was talking about for having patchy hair and nappy hair, that's a brain cancer child. Like, that's a 13-year-old who currently has survived brain cancer for 6 years. He's still living with it, I believe. But they're talking about this kid right here.
He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
People are really upset about this. They don't like what happened. They don't like the manner that Jess Hilarious and Charlamagne spoke on a 13-year-old kid who has brain cancer or has survived brain cancer. But the doctors gave him, I believe, 2 months to live, and it's been 6 years now. So this is a kid who has overcame a lot, and despite of where he aligns politically, now can a child really align politically, bro? Or is he just going with whatever his parents, has indoctrinated him into? But nonetheless, though, that kid should not be the subject of abuse on any podcast.
The Breakfast Club been finished, but I think this just put the icing on the cake. How dare y'all sit up there and try to make fun of a kid that recovered from brain cancer, gang? DJ Envy, you sitting up there talking shit, questioning if this little boy even black or not. And Jess Hilarious, you wasn't shit until you started sucking on Country Wayne. So shut the fuck up. You sitting up there high and mighty on Breakfast Club like you somebody, but you ain't had no energy when Sexy Red checked the out of you.
People are pissed off, and this is really crossing beyond the Breakfast Club normal audience, as sizable as it is. It's crossing beyond hip-hop. This is going into political sphere, pop sphere. People are really pissed off. Now, I'm shocked that Jess Hilarious said this because Jess Hilarious has done multiple interviews where she has openly stated that her biggest regret in life, like the one thing she regretted in most, is joking about Chadwick Boseman, his appearance before the world knew he had cancer. She joked about his new appearance and looking too skinny and frail, and then we found out he had cancer when he passed away. She said her biggest regret is joking about Chadwick Boseman before he passed away.
And I more, I just didn't. That's the only regret that I have in my career, in my journey with being Jess.
With the Chadwick Boseman situation, she gets somewhat of a pass because she didn't know he had cancer. But still, you don't say that, and then you make fun of a kid that you know is a cancer survivor. You know he's a cancer patient. It's just cruel, man. It's cruel. So who knows if the Breakfast Club is using this as leverage to sort of take her show away from her and give it to Loren Larosa, even though people have been saying for months that they prefer Loren over Jess Hilarious. Now we can't talk about the present without going back. So a lot of you guys is wondering, where did this all start? How did Jess Hilarious lose her position on the Breakfast Club? Well, let's rewind a little bit. When Jess Hilarious initially replaced Angela Yee as the third co-host of the Breakfast Club, dare I say the fans were initially happy. They enjoyed the replacement. They thought Jess Hilarious was dope. But like most things, that didn't last long. Her honeymoon phase at the Breakfast Club didn't last too long due to her own doing. She caused her own demise. See, the Jess Hilarious situation can perfectly be described by the Chrysler 300 analogy. The Chrysler 300 looks like a Bentley until the Bentley pulls up. The vehicle on the left looks like a luxury vehicle until the vehicle on the right pulls up. And in most cases, I'm talking about the shameless dudes. They will even put a Bentley sign on their Chrysler 300, and they can get it off and trick a lot of people who ain't never seen a Bentley before. We were so sick and tired of the Breakfast Club rotating chair and bringing in random guest hosts to guest co-host the show that when they finally decided to hire Jess Hilarious as the permanent third seat, we were ecstatic because Jess Hilarious was the clear choice. She was better than all the other guest hosts. And Jess Hilarious, for the most part, was a Chrysler 300, but compared to the other guest hosts and what we had to deal with, she was a Bentley in our eyes. That's until Jess Hilarious took maternity leave after having her child, and then we got a chance to really see what a Bentley is.
Let's get right into your story. So you were formerly of TMZ.
Yes, I was a senior news producer, which, that encompassed me being on air, TMZ Live, TMZ on TV, primetime, daytime show, but also just producing the news that is exclusive and breaking from TMZ. Work with a very intimate team of, people who are really good at what they do. Mm-hmm. I was there for a little over 7 years, and recently decided, I got some skin in this, have learned a few things, and recently decided that, it was just time for me to leave.
I don't know if the Breakfast Club did this deliberately, but take a look at the dynamics that's at play here. Jess Hilarious' entire contribution to the Breakfast Club is she's taken over Angela Yee's segment. Angela Yee had the rumor report where they talked about the daily news and stories, the trending news. Jess Hilarious replaced that with Jess with the Mess. So Jess Hilarious' entire contribution was the news. And they brought in her temporary replacement, Loren Larosa, the senior news producer for the largest news outlet in the world, TMZ. They brought her to temporarily replace you, the novice? Oh, if I was Jess Hilarious, bro, forget maternity leave, homie. I'm hiring a nanny and I'm coming back within 3 days, bro. I'm not giving this chick any leg room to showcase herself. But Jess Hilarious didn't do that, right? She allowed for Loren Larosa to showcase her value, to showcase that there's a difference between a senior news producer and an Instagram comedian, all right? Or, again, I'm not trying to downplay her, but she's a comedian, right? So a comedian, she does shows, so she's a legit comedian, but there's a difference between a comedian gossiping and a senior news producer. So when Loren LaRosa showed up, we started this, we seen a Bentley. We seen what we were really missing from the Breakfast Club. So when Jess Hilarious came back, the Breakfast Club said, yeah, Jess, when we gave you that third seat, listen, you still got the third seat, but there's a fourth seat now. And that fourth seat is going to be Loren LaRosa. That right there was also the writing on the wall for Jess Hilarious.
All right, y'all. So we're going to do the top of the mess a little different today. Only because I feel like we need to have a conversation in the room that I want to have on air.
What's the conversation?
So first of all, I just want people to understand that, like, when you have two black women, right, it is not a compliment to compliment one person and down the other. I've been getting a lot of that, like, oh, you doing good and I don't like this about Jess, and you know, I hate that. Yesterday we were out and majority of the people I ran into, Jess with the mess in her news is real.
How you doing, girl? It's time.
Okay, you
it's
back?
Time for me to be back.
You ready?
Jess is back!
Hello.
You ready?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of classless. Jess Hilarious was in the building the entire time, and she waited until Loren Larosa started her entire spiel to walk in and essentially kick Loren Larosa out of the chair that she was in so she could sit. Where Jess Hilarious could have just started the show in the chair, but she wanted for that to be a thing. She wanted for people to see her kicking Loren LaRosa out the chair as if the HBIC is back. Now, Loren LaRosa will say all the right things, even highlight how she don't like people telling her how much better she is than Jess, how the fans don't want you here, Jess. Now, Loren LaRosa knew what she was doing, bro. All right, because nobody was talking about that on the show, but she made sure to bring it up. Hey, bro, all the fans was telling me how much they hate you, and I hate they're telling me that. Come on, bro. Right, but both these women were playing chess.
Who, me and her?
Yeah.
We was talking about a lot. And before you walked in, we was talking about it here on air. Mm-hmm. The first thing that I brought up was yesterday we was out at Sim Simmons' birthday party, and I ran into so many people, and this happens to me all the time, and I tell people, you don't have to down just to compliment me, and I hate that narrative, us versus each other. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of times when people see two women that can do things really, really well, it's always like you got to pick a side. But we're happy to have you back.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for allowing me to sit in that seat for some time, and I am so excited to work with you.
I appreciate you.
Loren was dictating the conversation even when Jess was back, and she was essentially speaking as if Jess was the odd one out. We are happy to welcome you back, as if welcome back to our home. All right, you're the odd one out. Welcome back to our home. But that, I'm so happy, or I'm looking forward to working with you, was the dagger, man, because Jess was under the assumption she was coming back to her old position. Her, the third amigo. She didn't know that the Breakfast Club had no plans to get rid of Loren LaRosa, and she was going to be the fourth amigo, or should I say the third amigo and just the fourth amigo. Now, this relationship started off great. Loren LaRosa said everything correctly, man, but yes, it's easy to say those things, but it's harder to listen to the public, see what they're writing, see what their opinions are, and not take notice. And it looks like Jess Hilarious took notice of the fan base essentially wanting her gone. The fan base essentially being like 90% pro Loren LaRosa and not really caring for Jess Hilarious anymore ever since Loren LaRosa has been president. In the comments, even though Loren made it perfectly clear that she don't want the comparisons to Jess, the fans made it perfectly clear, bruh, that Loren is better. All right, they expressed it in the comments. They weren't shy about it, and for the most part, they weren't even saying Jess Hilarious is horrible or she's not talented. They're just saying, bro, we got a chance to see what a Bentley really looks like, and we don't want the Chrysler 300 back. Them keeping both was a good idea, not to really ruffle any feathers, but as time went on, bruh, you could see the tension was rising in the room. Essentially, you got two people who believe they're competing for that particular spot, because once their contracts is up, who contract is going to get renewed? That's the question. And right now, it's probably up in the air. So they're both competing while still trying to be friendly coworkers. But at times, you could cut the tension in the room with a steak knife. Like, for example, Jess Hilarious continuously trying to sun Loren LaRosa, telling her to shut up.
Hey, man, the audio yesterday. Hey, hold up, be quiet. How
Rihanna
for a long time.
and her outfit
This is
mattered.
not, no, listen, hush. This is not a Travis. No, Loren. No, just listen. Just please, hush.
It looks like she can no longer sun Loren LaRosa during these news discussions, during the Just with the Mess segment, because it's no longer Just with the Mess, you know? It's now the latest with Loren LaRosa. Loren LaRosa is edging Jess Hilarious out that back door, bruh. Slowly, but it's steady. It's moving. I feel bad for Jess Hilarious, man. I feel bad for her, man. I do feel like Jess Hilarious is talented, man, but her starting a new job and getting pregnant, it's like, yo, what are you thinking? Like, you wasn't even at the job for a month before you had to take maternity leave. Like, dumb mistake, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think about this, bro? How much longer do you have until Jess Hilarious is officially fired from the Breakfast Club? Let me know in the comment section, all right? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out why Charleston White is getting death threats for saying this about this fallen rapper. I'm going to see you guys in this video. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.